Hi, and welcome to another crypto market update. I'm super excited for this video because a lot of things happened in the last days. I was traveling a lot, so I couldn't make any video, but now we are back. Currently, crypto fear and greed index is back on 25. The reason is because Bitcoin is pumping. We're currently trading under $94,000. What actually happened today? Well, let's actually take a look on one video together because one of the most influential persons in crypto, CZ, the founder of Binance, said the following, and let's actually just take a look on it.
Don't quote me on this, but I think that force will be quite strong. So that force may be strong enough to offset the 4-year cycle. Who knows? Yeah.
So you're saying next year bull market?
We may be seeing a super cycle. So
Wow.
we'll see. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So
We might see a super cycle. Well, what does that mean? Usually, we have a 4-year cycle in crypto, as you potentially or most likely know. And right now is the end of this 4-year cycle, if that theory still is intact. But CZ is telling here that he is potentially thinking about a super cycle. So going into 2026. So, of course, the market reacted on it, as well as this week we have quite a lot of news because we have the FOMC week, which is obviously very, very important usually for the market. Today, we had already some labor market news, which is in this case the ADP weekly employment change, which was positive. We had 4.8K of increase. The previous one was minus 13.5, so a negative impact in the last release of this data, but now we had an increase. And also at 4 p.m. today, German time, we had the JOLTS job openings. They were higher as expected. We had a 7.14 million forecast, and it is a 7.67 actual. So the labor market is increasing. The labor market is gonna or is getting better, which is another sign for a very, very likely rate cut. We can see here on investing.com the current likelihood of a 25 basis points cut tomorrow is 85%. And on Polymarket, it is even 97% that people are betting on a 25 basis points decrease, which again, we talked about that in previous videos already, is a potential injection of new capital into the investing market, including the cryptocurrency market, right? So, very, very likely that we see that. Tomorrow is a big, big day. So, watch out for tomorrow. Wednesday, we have the federal fund rate, as I just mentioned, at 8 p.m. The market is pricing in 3.75%. But very important will be the press conference at 8:30 p.m. Central European time, because they're of course Fed, or in this case SEC, sorry, Fed chef, Fed boss, you can say. Um, Jerome Powell is gonna speak, of course, about the future, and they're all eyes on him. So this meeting is a very, very important meeting for the future of the investing and especially the crypto market. So definitely take a look on that one before we actually also have the employment cost index, and the day after, which is yeah, crazy. We have the unemployment claims one day after the rate cut meeting. So that can have another impact on Thursday as well. On Friday, we don't have any news. But let's actually take a look on Bitcoin, because this video is going to be a short video. And now I'm going to tell you why I think you need to be careful right now. I actually wanted to do the video a little bit earlier, but now we already see some sort of reaction. I'm going to break down Bitcoin for you very, very quickly. I have some inputs here on Bitcoin already. So let's actually take a look on it. What we can see here in Bitcoin is the following. We have spoken about this chart multiple times already, right? We are in a bullish upward trend for sure, right? Last time already in last video, we already spoke about, you can see a lot of like insights that I put here. So we're going to go over this in a second. But right now we came in this like bullish weekly structure in this 78.6 to the 88.6 area, which is of course always a very, very interesting level for like a trend reversal, right? And we did see some sort of reaction. Let's switch on the lower time frame and let's speak about where I see the market right now. So all of these things we already have spoken about in the past. Um, we have had a very nice movement to the downside. Basically here a very nice sell setup on the 1 hour time frame. We can see it here in the MACD. Actually, my picture is in front of it, so I'm actually going to switch back to my video here so we can show more here. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to do an uncut video here, as always, but here you can see we had a 1 hour sell area, which basically what happened here is we retested this significant high here, right? We had significant high here that we retested here and we got rejected first. So this sell setup was completely intact. So selling this market was definitely a good way of acting here because we had the 78.6 to the 88.6, which is the trend reversal zone. We had 100% correction, but we didn't really create or not at least pushed way higher before. We had a change of character to the downside, came to the sell area and had the chance to sell it. What happened then, very, very simple is, and that is now a bullish setup for Bitcoin, or we had a bullish setup for Bitcoin, is we created here a very nice local high, local low, then a local high, and then we had here a very nice low. But we needed to wait for this high to be broken to actually, have this structure here to the upside, because before that we didn't really have any confirmation that we are actually in an uptrend. Now we are, and we had with that we could use our Fibonacci extension on the 1 hour to basically get our areas where we can potentially take profits or where the bulls take profits. So we just put our extension level, as you can see, at this low. So the Fibonacci, the trend-based Fibonacci extension at this low, at this high, at this low, after we broke it. And we have areas that are now very interesting. Why they are really interesting? Because we have a double advantage. We have areas here at 104,000 up to 108,900. These areas are very important for you guys to note down, because if we switch to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that we have here in the MACD a very, very important level for a sell area. So what does that mean? We actually have the 88.6 to the 78.6 trend reversal zone. So interesting areas for the bears to sell, and also interesting area for the bulls to take profits. So we have a double advantage. Very, very interesting area. $104,000 for potential sells. So I have said it here. Very, very important. I'm looking out for sells. What we have seen now on the lower time frame is very, very nice. Why? We had this structure here to the upside, 1 hour setup, move to the upside. We came down to the sniper zone, to the 61.8. Very, very nice. We went into it here this Sunday around 3 p.m. So in the morning Eastern time, 3 p.m. Central European time, and had a nice movement. If we go down to the 15-minute time frame, you guys can see what kind of structure we have. We had a trend to the upside, change of character. We came here to the sniper zone, 61.8 to the 71. We created a new high, very, very nice. So we had a new trading range because we broke this high, boom, and we came down, and here I actually took a trade. We came down to the 78.6 to the 88.6. So here I took a trade, took partials at this area because we had a big imbalance in between. If you guys don't know what an imbalance is, it is very simple. We have talked about it already before. Let me actually switch to the time frame. We had here a massive move to the upside with no wicks to the downside. So basically, if you have like these vector candles here, where it's a big push without a wick, like nothing that is basically, let's say you have a wick here and it's then doing something like this, you never have it. So this is a vector candle. So usually these imbalances, especially on the higher time frame, get filled because there are unfilled orders. Here, as you can see, this order got completely, or this imbalance here on the left side got completely filled. Exactly the same like this imbalance here to the upside that got completely filled by this push to the upside, right? So very, very important. Then we saw, of course, this move to the downside. We had also here some vector candles that also got filled in the evening, but then we had a nice move to the upside in Bitcoin, which again extended this setup. Let me actually go to, yeah. So we came here, had a nice trend to the downside. So basically some accumulation before we then went to the upside. So currently, very important. We have also short term. I showed you before some midterm areas at 104K, but also since we had this low here, the reaction to the upside, a high and then a low, which got confirmed as a higher low because it is higher than the low before, since we basically created a new high. So we had these areas here. Yeah, we had the opportunity to have here low, here high, and here low, and then we broke it to the upside. So we have take profit scenarios for this sequence here at 95,471 up to 96,990. So be very careful here. Don't jump onto the train, because I do think that we see very, very soon a reaction to the downside in Bitcoin, and then another chance for us to jump on the train, right? Very, very important to stay focused here, right? So currently, as of right now, I do expect the market to push down. Potentially, we actually go to these areas here at 95,471 to actually get the full take profit for the bulls. But if not, that's also fine. We do have a big we have a big 1 hour imbalance here that, in my opinion, definitely gets filled. We can see these big vector candles here. So basically, the move between this one here in green will, in my opinion, definitely be filled to the downside. So my current setup, my current view on Bitcoin is the one that I have here in the box, in the green box between 78.6 to the 88.6 in numbers. That would mean 90,652 down to 90,148 is a very potent area for me to buy the market again. Of course, if we come down to the 61.8 and we actually get some sort of confirmation in Bitcoin, that is also fine. We can definitely also go into the market there, meaning if we get something like this here, we maybe continue the trend, breaking to the upside. The retracement to the downside would be already something that I would consider jumping into the trade. So move to the downside, change of character to the upside, so market structure shift. And then basically in this area, I would personally think about taking a trade. What do I need for confirmation here? The RSI in an oversold area, so everything under 35, and in the best case, an engulfing candle. If you don't know what an engulfing candle is, just Google it. I mean, that would be a massive engulfing candle here. But basically, it is a candle. Here you can see a candle that opens at the same time, like you have a bear. That's of course a 1 hour, but we can use it on the lower time frame. This one here, for example, we see a bearish close before, the bullish candle after closes at the same height or a little bit with a gap down, and then have a big push to the upside. That one here, for example, would be an engulfing candle. And that we use in this case because it is a 30-minute setup. We would need a change of character on, in the best case scenario, on the 15-minute time frame, move to the downside, and then we search for an engulfing candle on the 5-minute time frame, right? So that would be another way of entering here. If not, we can even search for market executions in the 78.6 to the 88.6. So again, don't be too hyped when we see especially these movements to the upside. I expect a lot of volatility tomorrow. So if we come a little bit higher, we come to the downside. Of course, if we come higher, then I adjust my Fibonacci a little bit. So also my entry area is slightly different, a little bit higher. But you guys know what to do. This is my current Bitcoin setup. The same goes for Ethereum and Solana as well. I can quickly switch to Ethereum because we have very, very similar chart in Ethereum. If I'm gonna be honest, very, very same thing. 1 hour time frame. We got rejected. We have a 4 hour time frame sell setup. So also a double advantage here. As you guys can see, this area 78.6 to the 88.6 is the 4 hour sell areas for the bears, and we also have a confirmation with this low, with this high, with this low here. So we have take profit scenarios for the bulls at 484, sorry, up to 3,665, right? Short term, if we're taking a look on the lower time frame in Ethereum, we made exactly the same thing like in Bitcoin. We created here a new structure to the upside, right? And then we broke to the upside. So here as well, I would like to have a re-entry in Bitcoin, in Ethereum. Here in this area, we have the point of control. Same thing that I just said as well. If we're coming into this area here, 3,146 down to 3,114. I'm personally searching for new long opportunities. If we're coming to the 61A to the 71 without retracing down here, I would like to have a break to the upside. The same thing, like I just mentioned, a pullback and an engulfing candle with an entry. So that would be my take here. We also have a crazy move to the upside. So if we are actually having our high here, I would actually consider jumping into this area in here. Also, just to mention that very quickly, we are actually at areas where bulls take profit short term. Why? Very important to say. We have this structure on the 50-minute here, here, and here. Low, high, low, and a new high. So we just put our Fibonacci extension here to kind of figure out where potential targets are. And what do we see? We just hit a take profit in Ethereum. So 3,395 was a very potent area. So here again, be careful now. I would personally not do anything buy, but I would wait for a retracement to the downside so we can jump into this as well, as I just showed you here, right? So again, we are at profit scenarios. Don't jump into the trade. Don't jump in any trade without a real plan. If you want to learn how to trade, shoot me a message on my Instagram down below in the description. I'm also opening up some new spots to work with me. I have a lot of plans, potentially giving you access to a lot of nice stuff. But with that being said, if you want to trade crypto, feel free to sign up with the broker in the description. I have a lot of things planned for people that do it early on. Give me feedback in the comments if you guys want to have something in the future when it comes to videos. But with that being said, I hope you liked it. Quick update. I'm going to be more active here on YouTube now. So with that being said, take care, see you soon, and stay safe in these market conditions.